Welcome back to Ali and the Golden Eagle by Wayne Grover. Chapter 9, Ali's Big Surprise. "Father, father, come quickly," Ali shouted as we neared his house. His voice carried down the rocky street, bringing curious eyes to many windows. Mustafa was sitting on the house's flat roof when he heard Ali's shout. "Well," he called down, "my son, the great traveler, and our American friend are back. Come to the roof." Ali rushed ahead of me into the main entrance. His mother, Najid, was preparing the evening meal. "Ali, slow down and do not run in the house," she scolded. When she saw me, she paused and looked, uncertain of what to do. I smiled and nodded in greeting. "Mother, I have the best surprise ever. It's here, in this bag." Najid looked at the big bag over her son's shoulder, saw it moving, and asked, "Did you catch a fox?" Ali's eyes lit up as he smiled and said, "Mother, come to the roof with me to see father. Then you will see what I have." Najid, Mustafa's youngest wife, mother of Ali and his brother Rahman, hesitated. Though she had been a wife to Mustafa for 14 years, she still came last in line to his two other wives, who were busy nearby and listening to Ali's excited plea. Najid knew she must not go to Mustafa unless the other two agreed. As she looked their way, both nodded with silent smiles that told her she could go up to him. As Ali and I hurried up the winding, dusty staircase within the square tower of the house, Najid demurely followed. She loved both her sons and her 3 daughters, but I could see Ali held a special place in her heart. Mustafa had told me about Najid and her favorite son when we had talked late into the night on a previous visit. He said Ali reminded her of her father, an energetic man who had been the chief in her village of Sabia. She had been sold to Mustafa when she was 14 for 10 sheep, 4 goats, and a ram. In the tradition of her people, she became his 3rd wife, joining 2 older wives who had already borne him 2 sons and 7 daughters. Mustafa had told me that Ali was special to him as well. The village seeress had predicted that Ali, born the night of a full moon at the height of Ramadan, the Islamic month of fasting, would grow up to become a great leader. It was obvious to everyone in the village that from the first moment, Ali was the light of his father's eye. During the succeeding years, Mustafa had trained his sons in the skills of hunting and survival, but always paid more attention to Ali than the others. This caused much jealousy among his older brothers, who each vied to be their father's favorite. It often led to an older brother's going out of his way to make Ali look bad. Now, as Ali burst onto the roof and stood in the midst of his brothers, seated in a half circle at Mustafa's feet, he proudly held his bag in front of him. "Welcome, Wayne. Please sit here," said Mustafa, gesturing to a place near him. "Well, Ali, what is so exciting that you have to shout for all the village to hear?" Ali took a deep breath, smiled his broadest grin, and announced, "Father, Mr. Wayne and I have caught an eagle baby." "What?" exclaimed Mustafa. "Really? You have caught an eagle?" "Yes, father, we have it in this bag." "By the beard of Muhammad, Wayne, is it possible?" Mustafa's mind was racing because no one in their valley had ever caught an eagle. He knew the word would spread to every village in the Great Canyon Rift. "Should I take it out of the bag?" No, son, no. Come with me. We will go to the Falcon Roost and do this thing right." "May we come, father?" asked one of Ali's half-brothers. "Yes, everyone come. We will see what kind of bird Ali and Mr. Wayne have brought us. The wives and sisters watched as Mustafa, his sons, and I hurried toward the aviary. As we walked, Ali's brothers called to their friends along the way, "We have an eagle. Come and see." The group grew as we passed each house along the way and were joined by curious onlookers. At the falcon roost, Mustafa carefully opened the door so as not to frighten the other birds on their perches. It was near dark inside, so Mustafa asked his oldest son, Fouad, to light torches. When the torches were glowing brightly, at least 30 people crowded into the low building, many stationing themselves near their own hunting birds. Ali placed the bag here on the trimming table. As the others watched in awe, Ali lifted the heavy bag and carefully placed it on the table. I stood back with Ali's brothers and watched, while Mustafa wrapped his hands with toughened goat skin and placed a wicker face mask over his head. "Now, let's see what we have," he said as he untied the bag and carefully reached in to try to find the bird's feet so that he could bring it out. Suddenly he withdrew his hand with blood running from a tear in the leather hand cover and cried, "By the grace of Allah, this bird has the strength of a burro." Laughter ran through the room until Mustafa glowered at the surrounding onlookers. The room fell silent again. After wrapping another layer of leather around his hands, Mustafa again reached into the bag. Everyone watched intently as he struggled to get the eagle out. Finally, amid a shower of feathers, the eagle was pulled out feet first, flapping its big wings furiously. A cheer arose, followed by a hushed awe as the group saw the size of the young bird. It was fully twice as large as the biggest falcon in the building, and it was not half grown. "This bird is magnificent. Look at the chick feathers still mixed with the flight feathers. This bird cannot be more than 10 weeks old, and it is already so huge." "This is the first time I have seen it, Father. Mr. Wayne told me the reason this chick was not killed by the other, older chick, was that it was so large and strong." "You must tell us how this mighty bird was caught. I will call a village meeting for tomorrow." "Father, I have seen things you will not believe while I was up on the top of the cliff. Mr. Wayne took me in what he calls a jeep that drinks foul-smelling liquid. We went with the wind. Oh, there's so much to tell." "We are anxious to hear all about it, son. But now let us make this big bird a proper roost. We will have to learn how to keep this eagle happy and train it to like us." As he spoke, Mustafa snapped a metal ring onto the eagle's left leg and then attached a heavy leather thong to it. He let the eagle go, and it immediately tried to fly, but was held back by the thong. "Ali, if we can master this bird, we will have the greatest hunter in all Arabia, perhaps in all the world. There is a long road ahead, but we will take it together." Ali looked at his father's serious face, and their eyes met. "Son, today you have acted as a man. I will tell the village elders to give you the test of manhood. Normally the test would not take place until your 14th birthday, but you have proved you are a man by climbing the Great Wall and bringing back this eagle. Since your birthday is near, I'm sure there won't be any problem in holding your test a little early. Unless someone has an objection, the official ceremony will take place at the end of the week." There was mumbling and nodding of heads as everyone in the room agreed. "Now, if everyone will please leave us, except for Ali, Fouad, and Wayne, we can get started taking care of this new addition to our aviary." Amid dust stirred up from their tramping feet, the others left, leaving Mustafa, his oldest and youngest sons, and me in the building. Working with wood from thorn trees gathered from the valley, we built a heavy perch and placed it at the far end of the building. It stood about 4 feet high and was topped with a horizontal, rounded perch bar for the eagle to stand on. When we were finished, Mustafa stood behind the perch and pulled the thong on the eagle's foot until it opened its wings and flapped up and onto the bar. He securely tied the leather to the bar and stood back. The young eagle tried its wings, but was held by the tether. It pulled its leg violently, trying to get free, was held fast, then, with a slash of its sharp, downturned beak, it bit the leather in two and was loose. "Ali, close the door! Fouad, get a head cover!" shouted Mustafa as he tried to catch the frantic bird. Hopping and fluttering, the eagle struggled to be free. Then, in a fury of flapping wings, unsuccessful in an attempt to fly, the eagle jumped onto a falcon's perch. The falcon lashed out with its beak, striking the young bird on the right wing root. Blood flowed down the dark feathers as the bird hesitated a moment while the falcon struck again. This time the eagle moved with lightning speed, causing the falcon to miss its bite. Almost faster than the eye could see, the eagle raised itself on fluttering wings, grabbed the falcon with both sets of talons. When the bird closed its feet, its talons knifed into the smaller bird, puncturing its body. The eagle dropped to the dirt floor and savagely bit into the falcon. It was over in 10 seconds. The 10-week-old eagle had killed an adult hunting falcon before Mustafa or his sons could stop it. "We will have to catch this bird in the dark," shouted Mustafa. "Wait until I get ready, then put out all the torches except the small one in the far corner. Now, snuff out the torches." Both boys did as instructed. The light went out. Feeling his way across the floor, Mustafa carefully located the eagle. When Mustafa's hand touched its leg, it raked him with its beak. "Ow!" he shouted. He reached again, got a leg, and then the other. He pulled the legs back until the bird was on its chest in the dirt. Mustafa placed a heavy leather hood over the bird's head and lashed its feet together with an extra heavy leather strap that had been hardened by being dried in salt water. "Light the torches!" Ali took the charcoal ember and started the torches again. There stood Mustafa with the big bird hanging upside down from his bloody hands. "Now, my eagle friend, we shall see who is master of this aviary. Fouad, fasten half an arm's length of chain to the perch and then stand back." After the chain was fastened, Mustafa carefully linked the eagle's leg iron to the chain and then raised the bird and set its feet on the perch. Its sharp talons grabbed hold, and it was still. "Father, I am sorry that the eagle killed one of the falcons. I will offer to work for the owner for a week to make up for it." "Yes, that would be just, Ali. Now we all deserve some dinner and a good night's rest." Secure on its perch, the eagle remained quiet. The other birds were still restless, but when the room was in darkness again, they too settled down. The night sky was black as pitch when we left the aviary. Looking up, we saw stars shimmering like distant beacons as we returned to the house. We enjoyed a large dinner, then went to bed. This time a bed had been prepared for me in the big room where Mustafa's sons slept. To be accepted as family was considered an honor. A few minutes later, when Ali was nearly asleep, I saw Mustafa go to Ali's bed and sit on the floor next to him. I heard him say, "Together we will train this eagle, and it will become the master of the sky. Good night, my son. Sleep with Allah's peace."